gonna go bananas for the recipe featured today on Saltiness Isn't Bliss. Today I am featuring chocolate covered banana cake. So we're gonna start by putting 3 very overripe bananas into a large bowl. So I've already got 2 in there. Now we're gonna add the third. And I know that sometimes it's frustrating when you bring bananas home from the store and they turn and spot so quickly, but sometimes, and this recipe will prove, overripe bananas can work in our favor because they soften as they get overripe. And when they soften, they make it much easier to mash them up and add them into just some delicious recipes. Okay, so I've added my third banana into my bowl. Next step, we want to take a 9 by 13 pan. This can be metal, this can be glass, whatever you have handy. And you want to heavily coat it with cooking spray. And then we want to line the pan with some parchment paper. So parchment paper is the one that is safe in the oven. So we want to line that into our pan. That spray will kind of help that paper stick down in there. And we want to intentionally have a little bit of that paper overhang on each side. That will come in handy later on to help us lift our cake out of our pan. So now we want to put a heavy coat of cooking spray on top of our parchment paper. We also want to preheat our oven to 350 degrees. Next up, we want to take a large fork or spatula, whatever you have handy, mash up those bananas as best we can. Once they are pretty well mashed, we're going to add a few ingredients to our bowl. Because they're so soft, it doesn't take a lot of effort or time to mash them. So that is a nice way to shorten the length of prep time for this recipe. So there we go. Just a nice little banana mash in there. Kind of almost looks like mashed potatoes, doesn't it? So now we're going to add in a half a cup of canola oil. If you don't have canola oil, make it work for you. Pour that in there. One raw egg. And sugar. So in my case, all I had at home was sugar substitute. 24 packets if you're using sugar substitute. If you're going with regular sugar, you're going to use 1 cup. And now we're going to mix all those ingredients together. Whoop. And have some oil fly out of the bowl there. Give you a closer look, guys. So it's very watery at the moment from that oil. But our next 2 ingredients will definitely help to dry up that oil. So we've got 1 teaspoon of baking soda and 2 cups of flour. I'm going to add about half of the flour in, give it a good mix, and then I'll add the rest of the flour. So there it is pre-mixed. You can kind of see it separated there. And then just give it a good stir. Remember to scrape around the edges. So now we went from what looked like mashed potatoes to what's looking more like cookie dough. And our last ingredient is a half a cup of chocolate chips. And we want to just fold or gently mix those in. So there they are right on top. And now we're just going to give it a light mix until we notice that they're kind of evenly spread. All right, last step before this goes in the oven is we are going to pour our mixture into our prepared pan. Once I added and mixed those chocolate chips, it really truly does look like cookie dough, guys. I just can't believe how bananas can transform into cookie dough. So let's pour that mixture right into our pan. And then we're going to use the back of our spoon or a spatula to smooth it out. Now I'm just going to use the back of the spoon and just go in that kind of motion to smooth it evenly across my pan. You can kind of shake and jiggle your pan as well because this because of the texture of this mixture, that will help move it around and even it out as well. And then it's going to go in a preheated oven for just 20 minutes. We do want to make sure it's done before we take it out, so you can insert a toothpick. Here's our delicious banana cake all smoothed out and ready to go in the oven. Here we are, guys, 20 minutes in the oven, and we've got ourselves one tasty looking banana cake here. Notice those golden brown edges all the way around. So now the idea is that we want to let this sit and cool completely before we are tempted to take it out and cut a slice. All right, so maybe I didn't let my cake cool completely, but I did wait until my pan was cool to the touch. So the beauty of the parchment paper and the cooking spray that we put in the pan and on the paper is so we can have this very moment where our entire cake just lifts right out of our pan that easily. So now we've got our delicious cake right here, and all we have to do is continue to let it cool or just slice it up, get it on a plate, and enjoy it. So there we go, guys. There's our delicious chocolate covered or chocolate chip banana cake. Get creative if you want to add additional flavors and toppings on here. Otherwise, just enjoy all the goodness it has to offer. Thanks so much for watching. See you next time.